Talofa lava, Mālō lelei ki orana tātou katoa toa, taloha ni Fakaalofa yatu ni Sa Bula Vinaka, Talofa, Mauri, Noa'ia, kia ora, tēnā koutou katoa. Warm Pacific greetings to you all. Welcome to the Ministry for Pacific People's TOLOA Awards. We offer our heartfelt congratulations to our northern, central and southern region-based TOLOA secondary and tertiary scholarship recipients, and the recipients of our Capability Fund and Substantial Provider Fund. It is also my pleasure to congratulate the record number of Pacific secondary school and tertiary students who will receive a hand up with their education this year, thanks to the TOLOA Fund. In total, we have 238 TOLOA secondary scholarships across 83 schools, and 50 TOLOA tertiary scholarships have been awarded to Pacific youth around Aotearoa, New Zealand. This is an outstanding effort for those who have received the scholarship, but also for those who have worked tirelessly to make the TOLOA Fund initiative such a success, with huge growth and progression this year in particular. Now in its 7th year, the TOLOA Fund is most certainly achieving its goal of helping Pacific Aotearoa thrive in STEAM areas with this unprecedented number of scholarships. The program continues to align with the Lālanga Full goals of confident, thriving and resilient young people, as well as prosperous Pacific communities. We want to see more Pacific people studying and working in the science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematic fields. These fields are where Pacific people have been underrepresented for a long time, and our communities are working hard to change all this with support from this government. Global skills shortages in STEAM-related fields are redefining educational priorities. STEAM skills and knowledge are not new to Pacific people, and the TOLOA program champions that Pacific peoples come from a lineage of navigators, explorers, innovators, and experts in STEAM. These skills are adaptable in a vast ocean of career pathways and opportunities. To achieve our goal of getting more Pacific people involved in STEAM studies, we have expanded the TOLOA Fund to include those who study the arts, which are defined in the TOLOA program as creative, innovative skills, processes, and knowledge that is transferable into science, technology, engineering, and maths careers. Our ambitious young Pacific people have grabbed the opportunity we presented them with, and the Ministry of Pacific Peoples is delighted to offer 238 secondary school students a scholarship which covers school fees and equipment for 1 year to the maximum of $2,000 for the first year. Our ambitious young Pacific people have grabbed the opportunity we presented them with, and the Ministry for Pacific Peoples is delighted to offer 238 secondary school students a scholarship which covers school fees and equipment for 1 year to the maximum of $2,000 for the first time this year. These students will receive wraparound support during their year of study through the TOLOA Wellbeing Program facilitated by LEVA and the TOLOA Secondary Schools Challenge, managed by Young Enterprise Scheme in collaboration with Pacific provider Vaka. Another 50 Pacific students have received tertiary scholarships, which covers tuition fees and compulsory course-related fees up to $10,000 for 1 year of full-time study for STEAM-related courses and subjects. Empowering Pacific Aotearoa is a priority of this ministry, and education is one way to achieve this goal. We look forward to seeing the next crop of engineers, architects, planners, designers, and scientists coming through, changing the makeup of the workplace in Aotearoa and bringing forth Pacific perspective and values, something invaluable that all of you here possess. This year, TOLOA community funding has been split into 2 different funds, the Capability Fund and Substantial Provider Fund. The TOLOA Capability Fund is for emerging providers to build their capability and capacity for delivering STEAM programs to Pacific communities. The TOLOA Substantial Provider Fund supports proven and experienced providers to deliver Pacifica-centric STEAM programs, which triggers meaningful STEAM engagement for Pacific communities. These programs directly contribute to the long-term growth of Pacific STEAM. The TOLOA mission is to expand Pacific opportunities and influence the environment to create transformational, sustainable, and accessible STEAM pathways. It is one thing for ministries like MPP to provide opportunities for the community, but it is also up to you to decide what you do with that opportunity. I urge you to take ownership and embrace this opportunity wholeheartedly. Make it yours, and you can be sure more doors will keep opening up for you and for your ainga too. Kia kaha, everybody. Whamalosi, be strong.
So Mālō lava soifo, manalangi e mama. My name is Tuputau Lelaulu, and I'm a founder of Mau Studio, which is a design practice founded back in 2017, and we've been running for the last 5 years here in Aotearoa and across the Pacific. My interest in STEAM as a Pacifica professional really started back when I was year 9 at De La Salle College. I always had a passion for arts and a passion for drawing, and so there was one time where I was asked to leave my graphics class, or design and visual communications as it's called now, and told not to come back until I had a good enough reason. So as I spent my time outside of class, I realized that I was really passionate for drawing and really wanted to pursue drawing, but didn't really know what drawing led to. So speaking to my careers advisor and different teachers, they said that drawing and arts can lead to the profession of architecture. So I wrote something in a little letter, and then took that letter back to my teacher. And the teacher read it and said, well, you can come back into the class now. And so what the letter had, what I had written inside the letter was that I wanted to be the greatest architect in the world. And so my interest in STEAM started from that one letter, which led into my passion, and which has now become my career now over at Mau Studio. As I was going through studies at university, I realized that architecture really can become a tool to benefit our Pacifica communities. So right from my thesis project, I started exploring different meanings of le Mālō fia, or the tatau, and how that can be used to design transformative architecture through a Pacifica lens here in South Auckland. Now as a founder and director of Mau Studio, I've realized that we can position ourselves as architects and designers to really design environments for our Pacifica communities to be prosperous and to thrive. And for us, that means designing high quality homes for Pacifica, designing affordable homes so we have access to the housing market here in Aotearoa, but also designing environments which reflect our worldviews, our values, and our cultural practices. As an architectural designer and as an educator, I use Mau as a framework for people and emerging STEM professionals to understand a greater sense of self, which also leads to a greater sense of community between our Pacifica peoples. So Mau is a pan-Pacific term, which literally means that most Pacifica nations have different meanings for the word Mau. So for some Pacifica nations, it means to strive or to persevere. For others, it means the productions of the earth. But for us over at Mau Studio, our design practice, Mau means your purpose and your essence, and what drives you as a person and as a professional. Also looking at the history of Mau inside our Pacifica communities is that there was Le Mau o Pule, or commonly known as Le Mau o Samoa, which was a peaceful and non-violent movement in Samoa, which was opposing colonial forces in Samoa early in the 1900s. And that movement ultimately led to Samoa's independence in 1962. There was Mau Piolug, who was a Satawalese navigator, who some say was the largest influencer in reviving Pacifica voyaging in this day and age. And for us at Mau Studio, that means a lot. It means that there's some kind of responsibility, or there definitely is an ingrained responsibility to our Pacifica communities. And that Mau Studio is more of a movement for STEAM practitioners and STEAM professionals and emerging STEAM professionals to really pursue pathways that are meaningful to them, their families and communities. And what does our Māu look like in the 21st century in the face of climate change, in the face of rising social issues here in Aotearoa for Pasifika communities. And so we're doing that in very simple ways. So we use those concepts of Māu as your essence, but also Māu as a movement, to use arts and architecture to really design pathways for emerging professionals into architecture, into engineering, into arts, so they can lead a more meaningful life, which is reflecting and reflected of our Pasifika values and worldviews. So my parting message for our Talanoa today, for our TOLOA scholarship recipients is to really understand what is your Māu, or simply is what is your why and what is your purpose. And the greatest thing that we can give back to our Pasifika communities is to understand what is our why and what is our Māu. And then it's the challenge from there and taking our Māu and putting that and reflecting that within inside a career pathway, which then benefits our wider Pasifika community.
Koutou katoa, Mālō lelei. My name is Jim To'o Stretton.
Kia orana, ni Sa Bula Vinaka. My name is Sipilini Olau.
Mālō ni, Talofa lava. My name is Marina Aliforcio, and warm Pacific greetings to you all from our youth development team here at Leva. First of all, we just want to say a massive congratulations for receiving your scholarships. We're so excited that so many Pasifika youth can be celebrated and acknowledged this way, and we're really looking forward to supporting you as you study. But before we get into all of that, we just want to let you know a little bit more about our organization.
So Leva is a national non-for-profit organization, and our purpose is to support Pasifika youth and families to unleash their full potential and have the best possible health and well-being outcomes. Now, Leva means this space, and it's a common understanding amongst Pasifika that when we refer to Leva, we mean the relational space, because relationships are so important to us, especially as Pasifika.
Now, Leva have created a number of programs with and for our youth and wider community, including our parents, teachers, and have delivered workshops to people from various different backgrounds with an emphasis on using Pasifika and Indigenous knowledge to support our people. A few of the programs we've delivered are Atu Mai, Life Keepers, Mental Wealth, Auntie D, and so much more. You can find out more about who we are and what we do on our website or on our social media platforms for easy access to some of our amazing resources.
But today, we're here because we are excited to be launching our new wellbeing program just for you, which we've called Neil Wave. Neil translates to coconut and is commonly referred to as the tree of life among Pasifika. Every element of the Neil is a life-giving resource that you can use to build your whale, your waka, or use for nutrition and shelter. Wave represents the next generation of Pasifika leaders, so it represents you. In the New Wave program, we will be working on every part of our well-being, from the physical to the spiritual, and just like the Neil, the tree of life, we will provide you with helpful tips and tools to support you in your development, your education, and your purpose.
That's right, so we have placed you all 241 of you, into 10 separate villages based on your location, and you will be working alongside other schools in groups of about 20 to explore topics such as village well-being, cultural identity, respect for relationships, mental health, and leadership, all from a Pacific lens. And we will give you the tools to actually build your self-confidence while you're having fun and just enjoying each other's company. Now, the program New Wave was actually created with students just like you who received the TOLOA scholarships. We want to give a huge shout out to Meleki Oli Schuster from Rotorua Boys High, Dorothy Wilson from Roncalli College, and Sinalala Tava Pepe Siola from Macaulay High School. And who else, Pidi?
Yes, and thank you so much to Blake Tauli from Palmerston North Boys High, Yamina Terawasi from Tawa College, and Austin Naulu from Glendawi College. Together we worked on this program alongside our clinical psychologists and the amazing team at Ministry for Pacific Peoples to ensure that this program was best suited to fit you. And we genuinely hope that it will provide you with a positive outlook on who you are, on where you come from, and how to be at your best.
Now, if you're wondering where you can find us, don't worry, we got you. We'll be in touch with you all via email soon with all the details. Plus, we've set up our very own Instagram page. So if you give us a follow at leva_neowave, you'll find out more information there. But for now, check out this video which highlights some of the work we've done over the years to support Pacifica youth with their well-being and what type of workshops we will offer to you as you jump on this whaka in New Wave with us and explore what well-being could look like for you as Pacifica.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and we can't wait to work alongside all of you.
And we'll see you all again soon.
Bye, guys.
Join us on a journey to your past.
I'm a Polynesian king within the strings of my Polynesian background. I see bright futures in this room, led by the light, the man above. I hear the cries of our ancestors, the struggles they faced to get us here today. I try to accomplish the mission my father passed down to me. My Pacifica value is respect. I did this out by showing love to all races and cultures. I hope that before my parents leave, that I make them proud. I'm a Polynesian king, led by the strings of my Polynesian background.
One thing we learned about today was healthy relationship looks like in Atumai.
So one value that I've learned from the workshop was just respect, just being respectful to any culture, to anyone, no matter where they come from, their background or race.
Tālofa lava, Mālō lelei, ki orana, Taloha ni, Fakaalofa lahi atu, ni Sa Bula Vinaka, Talofa, Mauri, Noa'ia, kia ora, tēnā koutou katoa, and warm Pacific greetings to you all. First and foremost, I hope and pray that each and every one of you and your families are safe and well with our current Omicron outbreak. The world as we know it is changing more rapidly than ever. While many things remain unknown, we know many future career paths will focus on science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics, or STEAM. We know Pacific people are underrepresented in these workforces, yet STEAM skills and knowledge are not new to Pacific people. The TOLOA Fund champions that Pacific people come from a lineage of navigators, explorers, innovators, scientists and experts in STEAM. The Ministry for Pacific People and this government recognises that there is scope for Pacific people to fill these gaps in our STEAM workforce and to flourish. 7 years ago, the Ministry had a vision with the establishment of the TOLOA Fund, and in 2022, it is fulfilling that vision by assisting over 300 recipients with their journey in STEAM towards a prosperous future. The ministry has aligned this work with its Lalanga Fall goals of growing confident, thriving and resilient young people, as well as a prosperous Pacific community. To all of you that are acknowledged here today, to our TOLOA Secondary School and Tertiary Scholarship recipients, and the recipients of the Capability Fund and Substantial Provider Fund, my heartfelt congratulations and thanks to you all. May you continue to lead the way as innovators of STEAM in Pacific and as role models for Pacific Aotearoa. Soifua ma ia manuia.